Pod racing was introduced to Star Wars in The Phantom Menace. It was known to be a very fast and very dangerous sport. Today I'll be talking about its history in Star Wars canon and legends. Not much is known about its development in canon, but we do know there were notorious pod racing tracks on the planets Tatooine, Malastare, Theron, Cantonica, Hradreek, and Ankaral. The speeds were so fast that most humans did not have the reflexes required to survive. Of course, Anakin Skywalker famously won the Boonta Eve Classic, claiming to be the only human that could do it. Years later, his son would inadvertently enter a pod race of his own on the planet Hradreek. Star Wars Legends gives us more insight into the history of the sport. It was said that it could trace its roots back to racing in animal-drawn carts. On Tatooine specifically, racers began using Hano speeders instead, a predecessor to the more well-known land speeder. Boonta the Hutt organized the racing into a more legitimate spectacle, a tradition that was celebrated with the famed Boonta Eve Classic. It's said that pod racing as we're familiar with it was created about 100 years before the Battle of Yavin on Malastare. By that point, racing had become popular throughout the galaxy, and a being of unknown species named Gustav Windbus developed a prototype pod racer that would become the standard for decades to come. A simple cockpit pulled along by two or more powerful engines. By the time of Anakin's famous victory at the Boonta Eve Classic, pod racing was declared illegal by the Republic, and so the Hutts took control of most of the races. Thousands of circuits were maintained across the galaxy, and the sport was still incredibly popular even on Coruscant, the home of the Galactic Senate. Unfortunately, more and more criminal activity was revealed surrounding pod racing, and eventually the Republic began enforcing actual laws against it. As the Clone Wars drew near, pod racing attendance plummeted, and swoop racing began to take its place. The Empire became even more strict against the races, specifically targeting the mostly alien contestants. But a handful of racers persisted, going so far as to create new circuits in the unknown regions where the Empire had a more difficult time reaching them. But as for now, that's everything we know about pod racing in both canon and legends. If there are any more topics you'd like to see me cover like this, leave them in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.